Okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for being here. Okay, tonight I'd like to start first with kind of updating you about the Korea COVID situation. It's kind of interesting for us because, we wanted to help a little bit. And so we started around December something, December 21. I announced that we have to help because it's like 7,000 new cases every day, and it's been keeps on going up. And so I decided to let me get my pupils, my disciples, help out and see their level of Kung Fu. This is part of our fun, is to find out what we can do. Okay, so we welcome these special situations. So I asked them to help out, and so it decreased from 74 to 7,000, to next day to 6,200, to 6,000, and 4,000, and today is 3,800. Okay, so my point is that there's been a steady decline. Maybe sheer luck, it may not be, but I hope this continues. That's the main thing. Whether you believe it or not, we're not trying to prove do anything beyond trying to help as we're supposed to. So this is what makes me very, very happy that my students are able to do this without my help at all. Okay, and it feels good because for a couple of reasons. That is, we don't think we're doing this for ourselves. We're doing this in order to acquire the skills to help when there's a need. Okay, so it's not talk. Yes, they will learn to speak Dharma to you as well. That's part of their training. But also, we're not just talking. We need to develop the strength to carry you on our back. Okay. To cross living beings, we need to carry them on our back, put in our boat, and row as hard, as fast as we can. Okay, so it's not talk. Mahayana is that we take it upon ourselves to carry you on our back. Okay, so that we need to become stronger and develop more tools to do that. Okay, so that's what we're aware of, and so that's our ethos, if you will. We every day we work hard, and in order with never losing sight of the fact that we are doing this in order to help. Okay, not for ourselves. Okay, we're not going to sit, in here and behind our walls, be comfortable, and then do our things. No, we engage and we get in touch with you, talk to you, and make sure to learn what we can do to help out. Okay, so that's why it's called Mahayana. All right. And the other point number 2 is that the second point being that I'm worried about the future. I'm training my disciples, the third generation, in order for them to be able to continue the work and do more important things than what I do. And therefore, you see their progression. They are making progress. Last year when we intervened, this year when we intervened, it's a struggle. Okay, now we see we have much more firepower. Okay, so they're continuing to improve. I'm very happy about that. Okay. Because this time is of the essence. If you practice, and from my perspective, you practice blindly, not knowing where you're going, whether you're improving or not, then It's not a good use of your time. Okay, and therefore, I'm very pleased that my disciples are improving. It shows right here and that we're able to do something, improve, because they are making a difference right now more than when we intervened earlier, because they have much more power, firepower, you will. Okay, so that's why I hope to continue to work hard. Okay, time is of the essence. I don't have a lot of time left. I keep on reminding you that you cannot take me for granted. Maybe in 5-10 years, I leave just like Master Shinoha as well. Okay, he promised me that he'll be around for 100 years old. He left at the age of 70-something, 75 or something. I don't remember. But so if he said I would stay until 75, I would have not left home life. I would have not shaved my head, I assure you. Okay? So he fooled me. But if he fooled me, I feel I'm entitled to fool you as well. He set the precedent. Okay, but if I ever leave early, I feel confident that you can continue to come to our temples and get help. That's my purpose. Not we're just talking, but you get help from them. Okay, they really help you. They deal with things like COVID and so forth, not just talk. Okay? And that's for you. You need to work harder, because when one day I wake up and realize you're not working hard anymore, nothing else left for me to do, then I leave and do my own things. Okay? All right. Let's continue with Master Shinoha's teaching.
我们修行，无论做什么事情，必须要认真的去。
If you are cultivating, no matter what you do, you must do it for the true.
我们认真的去做，就是要利益人，不是利益自己。
Because when you do it for the true, you're doing it to benefit others, not to benefit yourself. 这个利益人的事情，咱们不妨做多一点；利益自己的事情，应该做少一点。 When things are beneficial to others, we should do them. When things are beneficial to ourselves, we should do less.
所以，听菩萨道，就是要布施，布施内在外。
So, to practice the Bodhisattva way is to practice giving. Practice giving internal wealth and external wealth.
内海头目脑髓，外海果成器，还有故事。
Internal wealth includes head, eyes, brain, and bone marrow. External wealth includes countries, cities, and wives. All these can be donated.
那么，对人没有利益的事情是不应该做的。那么，令人生烦恼的事情也是不应该的。
You should not do non-beneficial things. You should not do things out of affliction neither.
Okay, so she's talking about giving now. Let me remind you, giving is fundamental to our practice. We give and give and give and give. We never give enough. All right, and I don't know what he meant by to be true is to give, whatever he said. I don't understand that. To do things that are beneficial, to benefit others is we should do them. Okay. When we benefit ourselves, do less. Okay, before that it says, if you go towards the true, you progress towards the true. Okay, not do it for the true. You progress toward the true, meaning that you become truer and truer and truer as a person. It's not do it for the true. Okay, you progress towards the true. Okay, and the Chinese says you go towards the true. Okay, but actually he means progress towards. There's no point in going towards the true. You get closer to the true, meaning you become truer. I don't know if you Chinese people agree with that or not. That's how I read it. Okay. And you become truer and truer as a person, okay? Then you doing to benefit others, in order to benefit others, okay? This is important. The translation doesn't do justice to his teaching. He says, let me reiterate for you, you should become truer and truer. Okay, in order to benefit others, not to benefit yourself. Yes, 3.
Thank you, Master. When Great Master Shenhua says truer, does he mean less lying? I feel like he means more than that.
What does it mean to be truer? True is that, the definition of true is that your mind is not in disagreement with what you say, what you do. That is true. Because what happened is there's a mind here who is in charge. Okay, you say something, are you angry? No, I'm not angry. And your mind knows, no, you disagree. I am angry, but my mouth says I'm not angry. Okay, so there's a part in your mind where it says, no, it's not true. So whatever you do, what karma you create, your mind disagrees, says this is not true. okay, then it's not true. Okay, when your mind doesn't disagree, then it's true. The true here is a lack of falseness. Your mind knows. It's very simple. Your mind knows when you're lying, when you're manipulating. Therefore, it disagrees. He said, yeah, I'm manipulating, yes, I'm lying. You know it yourself. Okay? All right. And he says, you become truer in order to benefit others. Okay? How does become truer will be beneficial to others? I tell you one reason right now. Okay, one obvious reason is that people don't feel we're lying to them. They have no fear when they see you. They say, this person will not try to cheat me, will not try to lie to me. And I can count on this person. And that's how I felt towards Master Shinoha. I felt that this person would not lie to me. And that's the one person, the first person I met, I felt like that. The rest of all the people I met before that, I know I could not count on them 100%. But when I look at him, I say, yeah, I can trust you. Okay, because he's a true person. Okay, I cannot even remember when he actually personally, physically lied to me in person. Okay, I may disagree with some things, but he never really misled me on purpose. Okay, and that I found it so refreshing that there's such people in the world who can move on to do great things. Because my role model before that is that in order to be successful, in order to achieve, in order to do great things, it's okay to lie. It's okay to mislead people. You can rip them off and then give to philanthropy later. You can steal from your employees and abuse your employees and become a billionaire and then give to philanthropy later to make up for it. Okay, that's a sad way to live. Are you really helping? When you give to philanthropy after you stole from us, is it really giving? It's a guilty conscience. Okay, and there is a fame seeking. Okay, you do it for yourself primarily, whereas when you're true here, you become truer in order to benefit others, and you find out yourself. If you are determined to become truer and truer, okay, then you find out you can benefit. Point number 2, you can benefit more people. All right, and that's what I like about Master Shinoha. He never tried to benefit himself. Okay, he didn't ask for things. Left home people should not ask for things, whether it's money, whether it's food, whether it's help. We don't ask, except for the red cars, of course. There's always exceptions to the rules. Okay, so you don't benefit yourself, and when there are things that we can benefit others, do them. When things would benefit ourselves, we should avoid doing that. All right, this is our norm. This is our mode of operation. We don't ask for help. We don't ask for things. I'd rather die than ask for things. I'd rather die from starvation, from cold, from poverty, than ask for things. It's ingrained in my brains because I used to recite it every day. It meant something to me. I was very proud of it. When I left the association, I wouldn't ask for a thing. If I have no money, let me return to lay life. I have no food, I go hungry. And remember, give, give, and give. Give with everything you can think of. Okay, I used to be confused about this. One of his big disciples said, we're supposed to give everything when people ask, and I couldn't understand it. I said, really? They ask for nonsense, you still have to give to them? Yes, 8. I couldn't do that. I said, it doesn't make sense to me. Yes, 8.
Juin asked, did Great Master Shinoha told Master in person that he would live to 100 years old? If so, why didn't Master feel betrayed when Master Shinoha died?
When I was reading his books, he said, I plan to live to 100 years. I said, oh, yeah, really? Let me see. Oh, I still have 25 more years. This is cool. And now I can live the home life and learn meditation from him for 10 years and come and get out. So I was scheming. I said, I'm going to learn from the best teacher. I'm going to learn all his secrets because I know the insiders have insider secrets. So I would get in. So I conning him as well. I said, I'm going to live home life, but I plan to go get out. So actually, I was trying to con him a little bit myself. But I'm being true to myself. So I read that he says, I'm going to be 100 years old. I said, wow, cool, 25 more years. 10 years is plenty for me to learn from this fantastic teacher. 4 months later, he died on me. And so I was unhappy about that. Until then, the next thing I heard is that his disciples said, Master Shinoha told us the 3 things you're supposed to do: translate, education, and then training our people. I said, cool, then let me stick around and let them train me. 4 years plus later, no training. So isn't that also misleading me? Huh? His instruction, his disciples, misleading me. So it made me stick around for 4 years. Well, more reason than that. I had to take care of my father, who is a monk there. All right. So you give wealth. It's funny, it says internal wealth and external wealth. Internal wealth in that your head, your brains, your bone and marrow, they're internal wealth. You see, this is something very important. When you out there trying to make a fortune, making money, okay, it's from your internal wealth. Think about it. If you think of a way to make money, it's from your head, from your eyes, from your brains, and bone marrow. Think about it. It's the root source of your wealth. It's the engine for your wealth. Okay, and then it becomes external wealth. Okay, so for that, be willing to give away your head, your eyes, your brain, your bone marrow. Okay, this is remarkable. However, let me remind you again: do not give away your sense organs, your organs when you die. Okay, unless you're enlightened. Okay, it's ill-advised to do that. You're gonna fall. Okay, you may have a lot of blessings doing that, but you're going to fall. So be careful. I'm sorry, you shouldn't do those other things. There's some consequences when someone cuts your organs after you die. It's pretty painful. and you're going to be very afflicted. You cannot stand it. You will fall. Okay. Countries, cities, wives, children, and so forth. Okay, all these can be donated. Okay, external things. Yeah. Come and go. Okay, you should not. Okay, on top of giving, you give. Okay, you do constructive things. You help other people. Furthermore, okay, very important, equally important, okay, is not to do non-beneficial things. Meaning what? Being a destructive person. Don't intentionally destroy and harm others. Non-beneficial including harming others. Yes? Harming the environment. That's non-beneficial. Right? Is that clear? This is so important. I wish my parents told me that when I was younger. Please teach your children, your grandchildren, your nephews and nieces. Okay? You can't give. You find in your heart not to be able to give. Then do not do destructive things. Do not destroy. If you don't like people, okay, don't destroy the harmony. Just because you disagree doesn't mean you can destroy them. Just because they're wrong doesn't mean you can destroy them. So don't do non-beneficial things, okay? And also, you should not do things out of affliction. See, he's very, very, very systematic, methodical. He says, first, I want to teach you to give. Inside out, whatever you have inside, give if you can. Consider giving it away, yes. Okay, and external things, give them away soon as well if you can. Okay, give away your labor, help if you can. Okay, those are good things. Okay, but furthermore, okay, if you're into giving and contributing, then do not forget that's very important. Okay, do not be destructive. Don't harm others. Don't destroy things. Okay? That's the reverse of giving. It's the equivalent of giving. You don't destroy. All right? And one more thing, that if you have a little bit of kung fu, then you should be aware of your afflictions. And you afflicted, don't act on your afflictions. Because that's being destructive as well. Okay? So this is why we cultivate. We cultivate in order to be aware of our afflictions sooner so that we stop hurting others. These are fundamentals. You want to open your wisdom. What is wisdom? Wisdom is to benefit yourself. Yes? You do things that are beneficial to yourself. That's why it's called wisdom. And the greater benefit to yourself is to help others. When you help others, it's much more beneficial to you than helping yourself. Didn't he just say that? I cite him. What he teaches is so fundamental. You can't even understand this. There's no point for you to go any further. You can't go very far. You see? We help others more. We help ourselves less. That's the best way to help ourselves. Trust me. Bodhisattvas are not stupid. Can you believe that? Will you agree with me? They have wisdom. That's why all they do is help others, and very little they help themselves. It's very sound. His teaching is extremely sound. This is the foundation of Mahayana. This is the foundation of our Guiyang ethos. Okay? And remember, especially those of you who have some kung fu, who have some samadhi power, have some strength, instead of carrying people on your back, you got afflicted. And you punish people because of your affliction. Okay, that's the next one, right? Okay, continue, please.
你做出来事情，如果要令人生烦，这不但没有功德，而且有过错。
If you do things that afflict others, not only you don't accrue any merit or virtue, you are also at fault.
尤其对师、对尊长，更不应该做出某一种事情，让这个尊长不欢喜。
Especially to your master and the elders, you shouldn't do anything that the elders dislike.
Okay. He's talking about do not afflict others. Yes, 8.
There, as master, is there a way to quickly squash an affliction in the moment so I don't act on it? Sometimes there's no way to get away or stop. For example, in a meeting, driving, etc.
You cannot squash your afflictions, but you can control your actions, your karmas. That's what he says here. When you realize you're afflicted, don't act upon them. Take a beating. That's why we train you to sit in full lotus, because full lotus is painful. It's very uncomfortable. And yet you have to endure it. If you keep enduring it, then when you're afflicted, endure your affliction. This is part of the training. You train here to endure the leg pains and the hunger and the tiredness so that, it gets worse and worse and worse to the point you can't take it anymore. And then you recover. So next time you're afflicted, you say, oh, this affliction is nothing. Do you insult me? That's nothing. Slandering me is nothing, only words. What I felt is true pain in my heart, true pain in my bone marrow, true pain in my hips. What are words to me? nothing. It's just outside. It's nothing. Whereas the pain you experience from inside. If you can endure it internally, the pain and all this difficult training you're going through, then when others come and harass you and afflict you, you say, is that all you got? I've seen worse. I endured worse than this. Don't forget that. Furthermore, he says, and this in particular, this is for the Sanghas especially. We are professional cultivators, so our rule of thumb is not to afflict others. This is a special tip. It's a shortcut for left-home people. Left-home people are not supposed to afflict others, no matter what the reasons are. No matter how justified it is, we cannot afflict others. I will not afflict others. This is why they progress a lot quicker than you. That's the difference between you and us. You live in a world of afflictions. In our world, we don't allow ourselves to afflict others and add more afflictions to the world. So if you want to progress, so it's a tip for you. So if you want to progress, you monks and nuns want to progress quicker, don't afflict others. And if you lay people and wish to progress quickly like we do, don't afflict others. Because when you afflict others, you're at fault. You're not helping yourself at all. There's no wisdom in there, in afflicting others. So back off. Control your urges. Easier said than done, because I know many of you are so manic you cannot help yourselves. You think you're right and others are wrong, therefore it's okay to afflict them. No, it's not. Walk away. Go afflict yourself. Go insult yourself. You are such a lowlife. And you think others are lower than you because you're a lowlife. Yes. 4.
Master, so about not afflicting others, I have a question. So, for instance, my parents, they are not very happy when they heard I come to the temple. But I feel this is very important for my cultivation. And it seems like in the long run can benefit them as well. So, how do you think this rule kind of applies in this kind of gray area circumstances?
What they don't know cannot hurt them. Because when you tell them, I go to the temple, what are you doing? You're afflicting them. Sometimes too much information is no good. If you know they don't like it and you tell them that you're doing it, then you're afflicting them. That's against the rules. Okay? And so sometimes you have to be flexible and avoid afflicting them by not telling them. On the other hand, I just have a phone call today, one of my disciples, and she says, my children, are against me going to the temple. And their reason is that they're worried I'm going to catch COVID and die at the temple. Reasonable? Oh, he says, I want to go, but my children will not allow me to go, will not let me go. They're very worried. So what do? Help me out. Mary Jo is so relaxed. And usually she says, I have an idea. Yeah? What do? 6.
Well, I'm wondering, is it more important to not afflict the children or more important to come to the temple anyway?
Which one is more important, not afflict the children or go to the temple? Good question. Excellent. See, that's why she makes the big bucks. And we don't make the big bucks. Yeah? Which is more important? Not afflict them, the children, or going to the temple? What do you think? Yes, number 6.
Bring the children.
Bring the children. They say, well, it's a COVID place. We heard that people were, sniffing and getting cold and coughing, and what are the 3 symptoms of the Omicron now? Do you guys know? What? Sneezing, sore throat. Sounds familiar? What else? The 3 things. Dr. Fauci says. I'm a Fauci disciple. Headache. Oh no. Oh no. So, it's reasonable. They said, what if you die? What if you catch COVID-19? People are dying, like Korea, they have, hundreds of people dying in the ICU. Which is more important? What are you to do? Yes, 3.
Thank you, Master. I think ultimately you have to do what is best for yourself and keep your eyes on the long-term benefits.
Okay, it's from case to case. It's no hard and fast rule. Okay, you can ask what is beneficial to your children, or not afflict them, or beneficial to me. Well, maybe. So each case is different. Okay, for example, if Vicky's case, for example, if a husband says, "Don't go to the temple," now it's different. It's a husband now. We're talking about her children who says, "Mom, no way, you shouldn't go to the temple because we're all against it." So what are you going to do? Yes, 1. Number 1.
For me, Master, if they come to the temple and they cultivate, they're going to become better persons, and a better person is better for everyone.
Okay. Very, very Latin American. Yes, 8.
Derek and Chun has the same question. My mom also does not approve me going to the temple. But if I don't tell my mom where I'm going, wouldn't that be lying? Which one is more? Chun also add, which one is more important, not lying to your parents or not afflicting them?
It's like going to the polls. What is the rule when you go to the polls in this country? These people are not American. That's why we need to remind them what's a proper American approach to voting. I don't know about Korea and Vietnam, other places. But in America, it's very clear. When you go to the polls, what do? We vote for the lesser evil of the 2. Okay, this is so American. It's not about whether I like him or whatever. No, it's like who is less evil to me personally. Okay, is it just me? No, it's American, right? I'm not quite American, but yes. Go ahead, 6.
Master, I know in Vicky's case, she worked out a compromise that she agreed not to come into the temple and sat in the parking lot.
Bless her heart. Yes, you see, that's Vicky being very savvy and knowing her husband. And the husband adores her. Okay, so she can get away with a lot of things. So that case is not like a typical thing. Okay, like another case where the husband says, if you dare go to the temple, don't come back. I will not open the door. I'll change the locks on you. What are you going to do? You see? So even if you stay in the parking lot, I will still change the locks. I will call the bank. I will stop making the payment on the car. Yes, 8.
Vicky Sprout said, I think you don't afflict your kids or stay in the parking lot.
What?
I think you don't afflict your kids or stay in the parking lot.
Okay, that's her choice. She's a parking lot person. Okay? Yes, did you have any suggestions? Number 3.
Thank you, Master. With your wisdom and foresight, you've provided a YouTube live stream. So if people can't come to the temple, they can still participate in the Dharma talk from home.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for reminding me. I spent so much money on that, and we spent so many man-hours, countless man-hours, okay, working on this. Every time we do a broadcast, like several of you scurrying around like a chicken without its heads, and what to do? Oh my God, okay. So absolutely, it's another means, but it's not the same. Still not the same as going to the temple. It's not the same. It's no substitute for that. It's like a Band-Aid or a temporary thing. Okay. Yes, in the back. Four. What to do?
I heard that one. Actually,
You heard that one?
yeah, but in the Catholic Church too, people.
Catholic Church.
Yeah, people.
So what do Catholics do?
Um,
This is interesting.
it's different every situation, but I would try to.
That's why I said. The Catholics say that too?
Yeah, it happens a lot.
Okay.
I'll work at a compromise to see.
What is your
Like, for
compromise?
example, what about if I wear a mask inside the temple? What about if I stay 6 feet and things like that? Just try to work on a compromise to see what they agree on.
But they say adamant. They say, no, you can't go. You shouldn't go. We worry you're going to die. People, say that the government health officials saying you don't do that. You avoid these places because it's not necessary. What are you going to do?
I'm not too sure, but I would still do
What?
the compromise.
How can you help your people? You're not too sure.
I'll still try to.
Is this your 6th day?
Yeah.
Energy level a little bit low, aren't you? So energy level is pretty low. So can I interest you in becoming Buddhas? Since you're not in a fighting condition, can't say no. You could get pushed around, You push over now. Why do you think we ask you to bear a little bit longer? Huh? There is this motive. Yes, sir.
Just for your information, he spent the day at work today.
Spent a day at work?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's crazy. But he's not driving. And besides, he didn't really do much at work anyway, he says. Become Catholic, would solve all your problems. Believe in God. Let's pray to God together. Seriously? You went to work? Wow. Yes, one.
Master, in that case, I would sacrifice myself for not afflicting my kids.
You would sacrifice yourself. I did exactly the opposite. I said, this is what you do. Okay? He said, you love me. I understand that, and I like it. Okay? Yeah, you all love me. That's wonderful. But stopping me from going to the temple is not the best way to love me. I don't know if she would put it that way herself. Okay? But this is, you ask me right now because I have time to think about what words to use. But if you love me, that's not the best way to love me, by stopping me like this. Let me remind you, I am your mother. Love me as a mother. Love me better as my children. How? I'm being more dramatic right now, but when I explained it to her, it wasn't as this emphatic. But I said, you want to love me as my children. And this is what I would like my children to do. And I said, if you don't sound like your normal self, tell them this is what your master tells you. If you truly love me as my children and worried over myself, okay, come to the temple with me. Go to the temple with me. Cross your legs and practice with me. And verify that what I'm doing is harmful to me. Verify for yourself. This is what filial children do. A lot of filial children, especially Asian children who understand about filiality, that's what they do. They come to the temple and they do the things that the parents do to verify it. They listen to the Dharma, they cross their legs and practice, they meditate, okay, for themselves. That's what they do. Why? Because, let me tell you, you live a normal life, a worldly life. I live like that too myself. I discovered something called spiritual life that I find to be very beneficial. You don't know anything about our spiritual life. You want to stop me? Go and find out what the spiritual life is like. Then you stop me. But you don't know what you're talking about. That's not love. That's fear. You live in fear. What's so good about it? In your worldly ways and worldly knowledge, all you know is that it's what Dr. Fauci says. Okay? And that's fine for your world. I have a spiritual world. Why don't you come and find out? That's called loving me. Not stopping me out of your own fears. I have no fear. Isn't it wonderful? You can live your life without fear. Why are you afraid of this thing called, a tiny thing called COVID-19? You call that a life? And that's my spiritual world. Open your eyes. I'm your mother. I still can think. I can still decide for myself. I still can know what's good for me. You don't. You live in fear. Look at me. Do I look afraid? You live in fear because all you have is a material life. What I have is spiritual life. And you're going to stop me from my spiritual life and meddle with my spiritual life? And you call it love. Go see you shrink yourself. Okay. So you should not afflict. Going back to the slide to the Master Shinoha's teaching. Okay? Do not afflict others. Okay? Not accrue merit and virtue. Also at fault. Well, too complicated. Okay? It's you can explain it both ways. But the rule of thumb, do not afflict others. That's how I explain it to you. It's very sound. Okay? Do not afflict others. Okay? It's not worth it. You can avoid it, don't afflict others. Okay? But sometimes, like this particular person here, he said, hey, you give it to them like that, it opens their eyes, hopefully. There's something called spiritual life. You should look into it yourself, instead of condemning others in what they do. Come with me, and then you do what I do for 6 months or a year. Then you tell me this is total superstition. You sit 10 hours like me. And then you tell me, you do what I do. Then you tell me this is hogwash. You don't know what I do. How can you say this is bad for me? Nonsense. And you call it love. Okay. Don't afflict others, especially your masters and the elders. Okay? You don't want to afflict your master, that's for sure. I think it's obvious, isn't it? I hope. I'm supposed to afflict you. You're not supposed to afflict me. Let's get this straight. Anyone disagrees besides a Catholic? 4, go ahead. See, you need to now, on the 6th day, and that the Christmas comes, he has to sit on the pew where he gets some Catholic support. Yes, 4.
Actually, I do feel more Catholic when I'm sitting over here for whatever reason. I disagree that they should not afflict you, but I was just curious about something. Actually, do masters get afflicted because they are enlightened? Or like yourself, do you get afflicted?
I'm not enlightened, that's why I get very afflicted. You don't want to afflict me. And the elders. Elders here means, and it's probably not clear to you, elders means that these people actually are high ranking up there in a hierarchy, whether it's monks or lay people. They're called elders. Okay? Could be you people have been around for a long time, and then you become an elder. Okay? Not necessarily by age or by money and by contribution, it's just you being around, you being a long time, then you become an elder. Okay? Shouldn't do anything an elder dislike. Okay? There is wisdom there because they've been around, so they know the ropes. At least understand where they're coming from. All right? So, in other words, if you Westerners don't understand this, meaning that there's a hierarchy, maybe you understand that. And everywhere else, anywhere else, there's a hierarchy. You don't afflict people who are higher ranking than you. If you're that stupid, then you deserve what you get. They're there for a reason. And you dare afflict them, it's only because you don't know why they're there. And you're stupid enough to afflict them, that means you're afflicting me. Okay, that's what we listen next to his instructions.
他这个修行，你令其他人生烦恼或者不欢喜，这都自己所苦报的。
When you cultivate, if you make others afflicted or unhappy, that reduces your own blessing.
福报，福德的福，果报的报。行菩萨道，要处处回光返照，要按章面去做。
To practice the Bodhisattva way, you need to constantly return the light to illuminate inward, to do it for the true.
甚至于你冲一杯茶，你得冲一杯茶，必须要把那个水呀烧开了。
Even if you're just making a cup of tea, when making a cup of tea, you must boil the water, then you can brew tea.
你不是说是那个水没有开，你就可以冲茶。
You can't make the tea before the water is boiled.
如果你这个水没有开就冲这个茶，这个茶一点味都没有。你不可以。
If you make the tea before the water is boiled, then the tea would be tasteless. You can't do that.
还有，你做饭也必须要把这个饭做熟了，然后呢才可以吃。那么，自己。
Also, when you're cooking, you must cook the rice fully before serving. A state is just a state.
Okay, so the Chinese keep on harping about 回光返照, return the light and look at yourself. Illuminate yourself. Okay, this is fundamental to the Chinese chant. That is, look at yourself. The light here, okay, refers to the light of wisdom. Okay, yes, you have wisdom. Only problem is that wisdom is easily covered up by your stupidity. So you mixed. Yes? Sometimes you are right, and most of the time you're wrong. You cannot dismiss all of it. And that's why it's not something that you can figure out. Because you're confused most of the time. Every now and then you get lucky. But that's part of the process. And he says, for this practice here, the Bodhisattva way, forget the Bodhisattva way, to practice Chan is to return the light and shine at yourself. Okay, this light here refers to stop looking at others' faults. If you're constantly looking at other people's faults, it doesn't matter how much you cultivate, you will not open your wisdom. It's fundamentally impossible for you to open your wisdom because all you do is look at other people's faults. It's endless. You want to look at my faults? I will show them to you so that I keep you busy until the end of time. I have many faults. How does looking at my faults help you become enlightened? My faults are my faults. How does it help you? I'm a lowlife. How does it help you? I'm a great master. How does it help you? It will not help you open your wisdom. If I'm at fault or I have wisdom, it's still none of your business. Why do you keep on looking at me for? Why do you keep on looking at people's faults for? You always find these people's wrong. You cannot find what they're right. You're more interested in looking at people's faults. You know why? Because some of you are so manic, you can't help yourself. You only look at other people's wrong, and you feel you better. So your practice is wrong. Your practice is rather stupid. You think you're better than others because you see their faults only. You cannot see their strength. You cannot see their superiority because you're stupid. Fundamentally, you will always find faults in others. I look at Master Shinoha, for example. He has plenty of faults. You know that? He's short. He's Chinese. No, it's not a fault. Sorry. You know what I mean? Yeah, you keep on looking, he's going to have faults. He dresses funny. How can I... Look at my children. My monks dress much better than he does. You notice that? What kind of image is he projecting as a monk who's representing Mahayana, and he dresses like a beggar? How can the Westerners take him seriously? And then he burns this one character on his chest. How savage can it be? We civilized people do not mutilate ourselves, do we? Except we get tattoos. That's different. You know what I mean? You keep. I can go on and on and on. I know him pretty well. You know that. How does it help me? Talking about his faults. It only makes me feel superior. It actually makes me feel, ultimately, makes me feel stupid. Because the only thing I can see and want to talk about are others' faults, not my own. That's stupid. You talk about others' faults, look at others' faults, you only become more stupid. It's a waste of time. There's no wisdom in doing that. You cannot become any wiser looking at people's faults. Yes, 8.
Daniel Wisniewski asks, finding faults in people, isn't that judging?
Yeah, that's part of being judgmental. That's what worldly people do. Because the majority of those people have such behavior, manic. They want to feel superior. They want to judge others. That's why Mary Jo has, job security for the rest of her life. There are plenty of sick people like that who need help. They don't realize they're manic. It's a manic behavior. Judging others. Looking at others' faults and blaming them for your miseries, for your afflictions. That's how stupid you are. I look at Master Shinoha's faults. I don't get afflicted. He's short, so he's short. So what's the big deal? It's not none of my business. So people spend their entire lives doing that, looking at other people's faults. And they think they're superior, they're smarter. How does it help them become a better person? Are you a better person because she's more at fault than you are? So you become better by pressing her, suppressing her? That's it? That's the kind of person you are? You become a better person by elevating others and suppressing yourself. That's how you open your wisdom. Your mom never taught you that, huh? And he keeps on trusting, become truer, go towards the truth. Clearly, he saw this bunch of people there, a bunch of liars and con men and so forth. He keeps on bringing it up. This has nothing to do with the eternal light. Okay? It's for those people. Bunch of screwballs and liars and so forth. I hope they're not around anymore. Okay, make up a tea, must boil water. There's a certain way of doing things, I want to tell you, this is Chinese, they drink tea. Many of us don't drink tea. Do we drink tea? We drink beer. No? You guys are so boring. God. And cook rice you're serving. Okay, so what he's talking about is, let me explain to you in a way that's more appropriate for us. Okay, you come to this temple, to our way places. Okay, I keep on stressing you. I say, my disciples are better than you. My disciples are better than them, and so forth. Not to brag. It's for the purpose of reminding you there's plenty of people much better than you. Just look around. There's so many who are better than you. Okay? Can you tell? Of course you can't. Because I teach them not to reveal themselves. But that's why I have to tell you. If I didn't tell you, you look at them and say, "Oh, you look so stupid. You're so short. You're so sleepy. And you can't even sit straight, and so forth." Okay, so that's why I have to remind you. And there are plenty of people who are better than you. So watch. So the first reaction of stupid people is saying, "Are they better? Really? I see them doing these things wrong. I see them stupid. I don't see them better than me at all. That's how stupid you are. They're so much better than you can't even see them. You cannot see what they're right. You can only see their wrongs. The wrongs will be fixed. And that's because they're still being trained. Just like I'm being trained. I assure you, there are plenty of people far better than you. Far better than most people I can think of. Especially the ones that people look up to. They're far better than any of them. But can you tell? Of course you can't tell. That's how far better they are. They can be your teachers. They can be a better teacher than most of them. But they're not teaching because they are being taught. They could go out and have 10 temples, 20 temples, 30 temples unto their names easily with their blessings. But they're not interested in that. They want to attain more wisdom. So cut it out. Don't look at people's wrong, people's faults. Look at what they do right. It's very hard to see. So what to do? You ask them. Because you can't see them. You ask them about your problems. You don't always need to come to me. They've been through what you've been through, where you are. They progressed. They went through what your struggles are right now already. All right? Now, a state is just a state. All right, let's see what else he says.
1个多月，有很多人对我讲，说吃的饭呢，茶饭很过。
It has been over a month since many people have told me that the food we ate was very bad.
吃的人呢都生病。 也不能做工了，那么这是不应。
People got sick eating it and couldn't go to work. That shouldn't have happened.
人修到自己对自己可以刻苦自爱，苦一点可以。 对于其他人呢，应该好一点，尤其做厨的。
When we are cultivating the way, It is okay to be hard on ourselves and to suffer ourselves, but we should be nice to others.
Let me interpret this for you. When we cultivate, you make demands on yourself. You don't demand of others. You don't ask of others, let alone making demands of others. Whatever food is served, you eat. Whatever is available, you take advantage of it. That's it. Okay? So that you reduce your desires. That's important. This environment here, we're not supposed to, to indulge in ourselves. If others indulge you, it's okay. Don't expect to be indulged. Okay? You don't have to live like hermits and abstain yourself. But the practice is not to ask for anything, not to expect things from others. That's uncool. It's not proper to expect things from others, including instructions. You be taught when it's time for you to be taught. Okay? And in particular, we're doing this because it's in order to work. This is what differentiates us from any other place. It's whether you go to recite the Buddha's name, that's what interests you, or chant, or tantra, or look for information and sutras and so forth. Okay? We do all this because I want to increase in your heart the spirit of kindness and compassion. An arhat has wisdom, but he lacks kindness and compassion. Therefore, if you are such an arhat, I personally feel that you are a useless person. It's not worth it. Why bother become an arhat? If all you do is think of yourself. So the time we spend on investing in you and teaching you and training you results in nothing that's of any good to the world. What makes us different is that our people, they may have a lot of faults, but unlike you, they're kind and compassionate. They may be wrong, but they're working on their kindness and compassion. I can't care less about you being right. You're still stupid. How does being right serve you and serve society? Yes, 8.
Master C.Y. Wong asks, we should cultivate to find our own fault than finding other faults.
Correct. Yes, 4 in the back.
Thank you, Master. As we progress, how can we start to identify our manic states?
You can't. Truthfully speaking, you can't. They're much faster than you. They're much more powerful than you. They know you so much better than yourself. And that's why you need help. Okay, and that's why once you go through, you learn to navigate through this, you'll be able to help others because you recognize how they work. So this is what's interesting about this process, is that do not fret, do not be anxious and worried about how they manipulate you. Let them. Let them. We'll remind you, we'll teach you. Because I've been through it. Okay? So it's just like, let them shoot at us. Let them shoot at you. They eventually run out of ammunition. Okay? Then we recognize what kind of hold, how they get to you. That's all. Nothing to worry about. It's not that hard, seriously. And that's why during this process and this journey here, other outside observer might say, "Oh my God, she's crazy. She's totally wacko." Okay? So where's the wisdom? We use them to help you open your wisdom quicker. Let me put it that way. Don't be afraid. Okay? Look at yourself. Just the process, look at yourself. Okay? And recognize your faults. That's all. And eventually, you open your wisdom. And their manipulating you actually speeds up the process. I welcome them. We embrace them. Go ahead and manipulate me. Go ahead and make me go crazy. Okay? Because it only helps me progress a lot quicker. That's why I tolerate extreme behavior. Is there a question? Yes, 5.
Master, how can we not sing others' faults? Is there any specific way to training ourselves to do so?
Instead of looking at others' faults, go see a movie. It's more entertaining. You say, "Oh, this is kind of interesting, but I'd rather see a movie. This is not a good use of my time." There's nothing good about it. That's all. You should know that this is a waste of time. It doesn't help you at all. It doesn't help them at all. So it's not very smart. Okay? And maybe bordering on being manic. Because the manic state is that you keep on looking at others' faults and blame them. Okay? I'm telling all of you now, I'm declaring now, recognize your own behavior. You insist on looking at others' faults, and you see them, yes, they're real. Others' faults are real. Yes, you're right. And then you blame your affliction, your misery, your unhappiness on them. You're being manic. That's all. You're being stupid. They may be wrong. They may be doing all the wrong things. But it's worse for you because you take their stupidity and make yourself even more stupid by blaming them. It's a manic behavior. Recognize that. That's all. It's that simple. Keep on looking at people's faults and blaming them for your problems. And most people in the world are like that, and they think they're smart. It's a sickness. Go see a doctor. You need help. When you meditate, just cut it out. That's all. It's that simple. It's a waste of time. It's so compelling. If it's like you can't stop looking at people's faults and blaming them, then recognize you're being manic. That's all. And so it's nonsense. What you're doing is nonsense. They're pulling your strings. And so you need help. We need help because they're stronger than us. So what's the big deal? Ask for help. Okay? We should be nice to others. I insist on that. You can sit there and you meditate for 20 years and you stand up and you only see people's faults, you think you're so much better than them. You basically are not nice as a person, and you should stay in the mountain. You don't belong in society. You're useless. Why are you here? Why are we here? To destroy each other? To hurt each other? That's what losers do. We're here so that we become better human beings, become a kinder and more compassionate person. Even though others are not kind to us, are mean to us, are low lives, are stupid, we're still kind, we still are compassionate because we are superior, because we have wisdom. We need stupid people and crazy people to make sure that we have wisdom. We are sure we have wisdom. We can tolerate stupidity and unkindness. How else are you going to become better, more kinder and more compassionate, unless people are mean to you? People are inferior. And yet you're still kind to them. If you're only kind and nice to people who are good and better, then your kindness is not kindness. And that's the difference between cultivating in the big assembly versus cultivating behind four walls or in a mountain or in a valley. You're only by yourself. You cannot develop kindness and compassion. You hear, I remind you, here in our temples, okay, part of your development is kindness and compassion. This is what differentiates us from Master Shinoha's teachings. I insist on kindness, compassion. I don't care if you're right. The world full of suffering. All you can think of and see is yourself. What kind of person are you? Where's wisdom in that? It's never enough for you. You want more and more and more for yourself. That's a very poor way to live, very lonely way to live. You love no one, you like no one, you care for no one. What good are you? Your heart's so small. You see the Bodhisattvas, their heart is so big, and no one knows. They keep on giving and giving and giving and shouldering your suffering and helping you and be kind, compassionate to you. Who never said anything. Look at Master Shinoha, his entire life. He helped people, that's all he does. How many people in the world are like that? And that's why I idolize Master Shinoha instead of the Chinese singer. What's his name again? Li Hong? Li Hong? Li Hong? Huh? Wang Li Hong? Huh? The Chinese idolize him. I idolize him, the Chinese monk. You Chinese people idolize a Chinese singer, a Taiwanese singer. It's weird. He's not even Chinese. That's what we need to learn from Master Shinoha. Now he's gone. No one is doing it anymore. If we honor him, we idolize him, then we should try to be just like him. The best way we can. See, no one knew. He died, he came, he did his work, he died. That's it. No one knew how big his heart was. And now he's gone. His disciples only took advantage of his name, reputation, sat there and said, hey, come, serve me. I'm his disciples. If you ever do that, I will turn in my grave and say, you betrayed me. I didn't teach you like that. I don't want to teach you and become like that. Because when your time, you earn your way too. You don't expect people to serve you. You serve them. You help them. Don't be a loser. You serve them. Why? Because we have the strength to serve them. If you have wisdom, you have the strength, it's your duty to help others. I don't train you to have wisdom, to have strength, to have all these things in order for you to help yourself. Shame on you. You like that. My master's not like that. His teaching is not like that. You ask yourself every day, what did I do to honor my master's memory? This great man that rarely would come to our world and gave us so much. What did we do to honor him? Are we doing enough to honor him? Instead of sitting there and meditate and criticize others, do something meaningful in your life to honor him. That's just riding his coattail, riding on my coattail, and makes yourself a comfortable life. What good is that? Should be nice to others. That's the starting point of our kind of Mahayana wisdom. You think Chan is about sitting crossing your legs until they swell up and until you hurt? No. All those practices in order to open your heart and make you a nicer person and more compassionate. Thank you. Good night.